So the news stories, and I did a whole Halo show, so I don't want to take you down the rant and rave of Halo stuff, but I did want to let you speak to the fact that as a Halo fan, and before we go to Halo, let me say hey, Keely Chow. Keely Chow.
Kelly Shao,
Hey,
man.
Keely
Good to see you,
Chow.
brother.
That's awesome, man.
Love
Thanks for
that person, man.
coming in. I'd be remiss if I didn't let Jace rant because he says I am a die-hard Halo fan. He came in last night. He was ranting. He was dropping the f-bombs.
Yes,
It was passionate, and I understand because I have said this show is so generic. I could take Halo's name off, give me a few days, and I can make it pretty much a generic version of any sci-fi show
yeah, but
franchise you want.
that is what it is. Like when you watch it, it feels and looks like a typical bad B CGI series that's just a boring story. They just have taken the Halo IP and just made trying not to swear, but a really shit show. It
Yeah, it's
is.
crappy, isn't it? It's horrible.
It's horrible. I remember when I first saw the first episode, and when I see the ending at least, and he's like taking off his mask, I'm just like, one of the reasons we love the character Chef, is that he doesn't take off the helmet. You don't see his face. He can be anybody in this world. That is kind of a little bit of the point. Yes, we know he's a guy, but it's kind of you. Like you play this character, you don't know who is, and that's one thing we love with it. And
It's like just a sticker, right? It's like almost like a bumper sticker, and they just stick it on something, but it has nothing to do with what they claim it does. And
yeah,
it's become like an embodiment. I know we hung with it, and all we're doing is basically hate watching it. And I have to give a lot of kudos to Ironcaster because he helped me because I'm a total normie, and he was helping me come up with nicknames so I would at least remember who people are. Because at this point, I
yeah.
was like, I don't even care enough about the show to even
Like
know
Doctor
call them by their
Doctor.
proper name. The Doctor, because I was calling Halsey Keys and vice versa, and because I didn't care. There he is. There's the man. It
Hey,
feels like an off-brand, straight to DVD knockoff movie. It's not Dune. It's Dune Riders. Yeah, it is. It's just
yes, that's what.
everything is just generic.
Yeah, and there's a problem with Hollywood is that we see them taking all the IPs that a lot of us have grown up with, and they just changes the whole. They change the whole lore. They change the characters that you don't recognize them anymore. And you're just like, who is this character? Like, I don't recognize who is this. Like the same thing they did with the sequels with Star Wars, like what they did with Luke. You don't recognize him anymore. You don't recognize Solo
Yes.
anymore, or Leia. They're totally
Right.
different characters, and you're just like, you're destroying such a big part of people's childhoods and a lot of other people out there that have grown up with this, and it's sad to see because you're ruining such a big part of people's life and story that a lot of people have worked with.
I don't know if this analogy will work for you. It popped in my head. Over here we have like regular brand cereals, and then we have like generic cereal.
Okay,
So
okay.
we have one called Fruit Loops, so it's
Oh
fruit
yes,
flavored little circles.
yeah, we have that in Norway actually.
Okay. There's a generic version here called Fruit Rings. Fruit Rings, that's what it's called, Fruit Rings, right? I recently bought a box of Fruit Rings because of where we were. We were somewhere, and that's what they had, and that's what we needed. So that's what I grabbed, right? And I because it didn't matter. This is what I needed.
Yep.
Halo is the Fruit Rings of science fiction. Like all it is a box of Fruit Rings with a Halo sticker covering up where it says Fruit Rings. You can still sell it. You can still sell it. It's Fruit Rings. There's nothing inside that's going to surprise you. It's just generic Fruit Rings, but
Yep.
it has a Halo sticker on it. That's exact all there is to it. And actually, when you open it, the box has probably already been opened, but that's beside the point. So
Yeah. No, but also like I said, let's see here.
they could have just called it Star Ring and at least grab from those other star name sci-fi series. And I think that's what frustrates fans is they won't make it original. They won't just call it something different and let it stand on its own. They're trying to cheat by having the Halo brand on it. And because let's fast forward 2 years, right? Halo is still on. Let's just assume we're going to give them benefit of the doubt. Paramount survives. It's on Paramount 2 years from now. New subscribers pop in for whatever reason, and there's a Halo show. Oh, wow, I haven't seen this. Have you seen this? No, I haven't seen this. They're not going to go back on YouTube and hear warnings from us on how bad the show is. It's 2 years. They're just going to start watching this show, and they're going to be like, what is this crap? Who likes Halo? They're destroying their ability to sell Halo games, Halo merch, because they're
Yeah,
making such a crappy product. There's not an ounce of foresight in this.
yeah, and I also remember back in the day we did have like 2 movies like that was based on Halo and was like Halo movies,
Mhm.
live action. And yeah, they are terrible, but at least they stick to the lore. They stick more to the lore of Halo, like in the universe of Halo at least. It was like more respectful than this show. And I remember when I did a stream and I did find out, and we went through the whole article, and we were listening to the guy, some of the people that works and acts in the show, and it's so funny that the team didn't even look the games or the comics or the books or
Mm-mm.
anything of the lore that came before. They just ignored it and just, oh, we're just going to take this IP, take these characters, and we're just going to make a show. But if you are going to make a show, you have to go to the source material to understand who is this character, where is this character from, what makes the character interesting, and all stuff like that. And they just ignored all of those things. And that when you do that, that's the same thing. I'm going to mention the sequels again because the sequels are a good point of a lot of what's wrong with Hollywood. They take an IP. Disney took, the Star Wars world. They took away over 30 years of work that a lot of writers, George Lucas, and everybody has been working on, and they just throw it in the trash, not canon anymore, and just take the IP and changing the whole universe and all the characters until you can't recognize them anymore. And that's the same thing that what they do with Halo. They're exactly the same thing that they're doing with the Halo franchise right now.
It's just fruit rings, man. It's fruit rings. Just fruit rings. I want you to take that back to Norway to start telling people, oh man, it's just fruit rings. People will be like, what the heck is he talking about?
Yeah.